Hello and welcome to Clarkenomics. In this video, we're going to talk about consumption bundles. All right. So to talk about consumption bundles, you first have to understand what a budget constraint is. And to understand that, you have to understand what a budget is. A budget is nothing more than a plan. It's an economic plan. And any budget has got two parts. It's what you plan to earn. So, right, how are you going to bring in money? How much money are you going to bring in? And the other part of a budget is what do you plan to spend, right? What are you going to spend your money on and how much money are you going to spend? So for the budget constraint discussion that we're about to have, let's ignore the earning part and simply look at the spending part. In other words, we're going to hold your earning as fixed for now. It's not going to change, but we're going to look at how you can choose to allocate your money. So how much do you have? Well, let's imagine that you have $100 to spend. That's going to be a fixed value. It's not going to change. You have $100 to spend. So that's your budget constraint right there. And we're going to make this simple and say you can use that money to only do one of two things. You can either buy pants, and if you buy a pair of pants, that costs $20 per pair. So the price of a pair of pants is $20. Or you could buy shirts, and shirts cost $10 each. So those are your only two options. In other words, you're not saving any money. You are spending all $100 if you do that. So you have $100 to spend. These are the two things you can buy, and we've got the prices of each good there. So we can set up a table, right? With pants in one column, shirts in the other column. Doesn't really matter which goes in which column, but let's start with that one number that you can see. So let's imagine you buy 0 pairs of pants. Well, if you buy 0 pairs of pants, how many shirts can you buy? Shirts cost $10 a piece, and you have $100 to spend. So if you're spending all $100 on shirts that cost $10 a piece, you have the ability to buy 10 shirts. Of course, that uses up all of your $100, so you can't buy any pairs of pants. So we've got a coordinate, right? We've got 0 pairs of pants, 10 shirts. But let's imagine you want some pants, because pants are good. They help cover things up. So you buy 1 pair of pants. Well, that costs $20. How much money do you have left over out of your 100 now to spend on shirts? Well, if you spend $20 on pants, you've got $80 left over to spend on shirts. And if you've got $80 to spend on shirts and shirts cost $10 a piece, then you can buy 8 shirts. Keep going. You buy 2 pairs of pants. That's going to cost you $40 because they're $20 a piece. You've got $60 left over to spend. That means you can buy 6 shirts. If you buy 3 pairs of pants, that's going to cost you $60, giving you $40 left over for shirts. You can buy 4 shirts and on and on. Now, if you buy 5 pairs of pants at $20 a piece, that's going to be your whole $100 right there. In other words, how many shirts could you buy? The answer would be 0. So what we've got here are a bunch of different options, right? These are what we call consumption bundles. And so when we look at these in a table, it might look something like this. We could call one bundle, bundle A, with 0 pants and 10 shirts. Bundle B is where you have 1 pair of pants and 8 shirts, all the way down to bundle F, where you're buying 5 pairs of pants and no shirts. And if we were to graph this information, it might look something like this. Shirts on one axis, pants on the other axis, doesn't really matter which one goes where. And I just put $100 on the graph just so that you remember that that's how much money you have available to spend. And so when you plot this, it's going to come out as a downward sloping line, and I've labeled all the consumption bundles that we already picked out there. Now at this point, hopefully you're thinking that this reminds you of a production possibilities frontier if you've ever studied those. And you would be correct. This is basically like a production possibilities frontier. The big difference is we're not looking at what somebody is producing, we're looking at what somebody is consuming. And we're also not looking at an entire nation, we're looking at maybe just one consumer here. But a lot of the principles from a production possibilities frontier actually carry over to this, such as if you're using all of your money, you're consuming at a point on the budget line, right? So at A, B, C, D, E, or F, you're using every single cent of that $100. That means you're using your money efficiently. A point outside of the budget constraint is unaffordable, right? You don't have enough money to buy 8 shirts and 3 pairs of pants because that would cost you $140, right? That'd be $60 on pants and $80 on shirts. So you can't afford that right now. At the same time, if you had a point inside of the budget line, Well, that means you've got leftover money. You're underutilizing your money. You're not getting as much as you could. For instance, if you're buying one pair of pants and four shirts, one pair of pants costs 20, so that's 20, and then four shirts cost 40, so you're only spending 60 out of your $100. You are not utilizing all of that money to the extent that you could be. And so in a lot of ways, this works like a production possibilities frontier. Again, the difference is this is looking at what somebody can consume rather than what somebody could produce. So when you think about this, if you increase or decrease the prices of either one of those goods, you're going to see the line change. If your income rises, you're going to see the line change, right? And that's what we're setting up for the last part of this video, shifting a budget line. So let's look at the two things that could change a budget line. The prices of either of the goods, right? If shirts or pants change price, that's going to affect how many of those things you can buy, right? So if the prices get lower for either of those goods, that's going to shift the line outwards because it means you can buy more of those things than you could before because they don't cost as much. On the flip side, though, higher prices are going to move the line inward because if, again, pants and shirts become more expensive, then you can't buy as many of them as you could before. So that's one factor, right? The prices of the goods can change. And the other thing that could change is the money available that you have to spend, right? So I set you guys at $100. Well, if it was more than $100 or less than $100, that's going to affect the budget line. So if you have more income to spend, your budget line shifts outwards. Why? Well, you can buy more of everything, right? If your income decreases, the line shifts inward because now you can't buy as much of either thing as you could before. So budget lines can shift in and out depending on income, depending on the prices of things as well. But otherwise, if you're on the line, you are consuming in an efficient way. You're using all of the resource, money in this case, that you have available to you. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching.